always be on the referee, of course, complaining too much. This is the kind of spirit you need in this match. Also talk about players like Casemiro, the winning mentality. Rafael Varane. Talk about who else? Sabitzer, maybe he has not quite gelled up well with the rest of the squad, but yeah, these are some of the players that I will be looking at. And it's funny, sometimes you hear Manchester United fans complaining about Bruno Fernandes, saying he's complaining too much to the referee. I mean, this is what you need, because this is the kind of tradition, would I call it the kind of some traditional aspect of captains, the likes of Roy Keane, what they used to do, Patrick Vieira. You know, we are in an age where most of these players feel like so much entitled, they don't want to talk, they are like so weak. So Bruno Fernandes will be a player to watch, and then I am not going to say that Newcastle United are not a strong team. I've seen what they have done. They also have experienced players like Kieran Trippier. Talk about the likes of Dan Brown. They have played in the English Premier League for quite some time. Some of those players who are under a very good form, Almiron. Unfortunately, they'll be missing Nick Pope, and he has been exceptional between the posts. So that is an area that I think in the first few minutes we'll see Erik ten Hag even trying to tell his players, try a shot at goal and maybe you might get an early goal.
Well, Erik ten Hag says, Newcastle is annoying. Let me explain to you what is annoying is. We have, this is a team that is compact, and to squeeze a win against Newcastle, it's a tough one. Liverpool tried, and actually, I think Liverpool is, I guess it's the only big team that have really managed to score at least past 2 goals to that team, and that is a kudos to them. And just like I said, sometimes people sleep, and that was Newcastle's day to sleep. But look, we are talking about a team that has a compact squad. A team that plays a good football in a good chemistry from goalkeeper, defense, midfield, and attacking. No experience so much. Not expensive players like Manchester United. When you talk about the likes of Casemiro, of course they have won the Champions League, they have won the league with Real Madrid, so what? We are talking about Newcastle. A team that has a new coach, not experience, but a coach who is working quite pretty well, connecting the dots, filling the gaps between, the existing gaps and trying to contain the play and controlling the game. That's what wins your league. That's what wins your match. And that is what, Erik ten Hag is worried about. Not the likes of Bruno complaining. Everybody complains, so what? But tomorrow, you'll be theatered. You call yourself a theater of dreams? I guess tomorrow it's a day that you'll be, your dreams will be theatered tomorrow.
We say we are the great Man United and we are going to Wembley. Yeah, that's the slogan right now. But you talked about Newcastle playing from the back, and that is exactly what we want them to do. If they like it, let them dominate the match. We'll use those their transition to hit them on the counter. We have very good players at the middle of the park. Talk of Fred's releasing the likes of Rashford. If at all he manages to play in this one, I understand he will need to pass a late fitness test. Talk of Casemiro, he's one of those midfielders, absolutely, I mean the best we have in the English Premier League now. No. Because do you know Enzo Fernandez?
Have you seen his pass?
He has no trophy. He has
He has a World Cup.
Of course, a World Cup.
But you can't compare Enzo Fernandez with Casemiro.
Who is better? There is no comparison.
Enzo Fernandez. Have you seen the pass?
5 that is Champions League, and of course played in different leagues.
Talk about age.
Age 31, and he's playing better than even. Talk of the Enzos and the parties, and Just look at their stats.
My friend,
Aspects. I mean, sometimes I even think Casemiro is the attacking midfielder in our team.
my friend, you see, the confidence that you have, it's because you managed to get something out of Barcelona. Don't be fooled.
No.
This is a Newcastle. This is not a Barcelona. Barcelona, they don't have Messi right now. They are not playing, amazing football, the tiki-taka that we used to know.
But you knew that before, even when we were drawn against them, after we failed to qualify directly. You knew that. You never said about it.
About
now,
what?
because Manchester United have managed to beat the hell out of...
No, it was a luck. It was a luck, my friend. You were outdone, I'll say that. And of course, when you look at the first leg, you were given a penalty. Then, of course, you are added another own goal. So you are there by the virtue of, riding on the luck.
What matters
Or
at the end of the
misfortune
day
of
is the
Barcelona.
result.
Of course,
They
it is the result.
They were also awarded a head start in the second match. That was quite a soft penalty.
But you rigged.
No, I mean the referee was against us in that match, and
Right.
I was surprised.
But that is Barcelona, and they play in the La Liga, not in the English Premier League. In the English Premier League, this is Newcastle, by the way. Number what?
But is
5, of
Barcelona
course.
a good team?
Barcelona. In the past, they were.
But they are in
But
the La
not
Liga
anymore.
leading against, of course, above Real Madrid. Real Madrid
My
have proven their, of course, quality even in Europe. But Barcelona are above them in the La Liga.
Barcelona,
With
they
a
don't have
ve-
the Messiah.
Quite some good margin.
They don't have the Messiah. Tell me, when was the last time you won against Barcelona when Messi was in that squad? Tell me.
We have won against them recently. This week. That's what
But
matters.
after how many years of attempt?
So many years, but
Good,
we won.
good. No, Barcelona is Messi, and there is no Messiah. So, because there's no Messiah, the team was some sort of being led with some demonic, and you managed to pray so hard.
They have
And of course, God answered your prayers.
They have Lewandowski. He's exceptional. He might not have that philosophy like Lionel Messi at Barcelona, but he's good.
Anyway, leave alone Barcelona. Give me your prediction tomorrow. Who wins and by how much? The margin of how many goals?
Manchester United will win.
With margin of?
I think 3-1.
Oh,
Yes.
final.
Yeah.
Carabao.
I understand.
3 goals.
I understand you expect a draw or maybe a 1-0 win. But for me, I am seeing a very different team. The character, everything that the manager has instilled in these boys.
Let me ask you
Newcastle
a simple
must-
question. Let me ask you a simple question. You have said you will win by 3 goals, of course. But what makes you think that you will score 3 past Newcastle?
It's the quality of the players, and they are already lacking Nick Pope. He has been one of those. In fact, he's at the top of the Golden Glove competition. So he has been key for them. They will not be having Martin Dubravka, their second choice goalkeeper. So probably they play a goalkeeper who has not even appeared. In fact, it's not a case of whether or not. They'll be using a goalkeeper who have not featured for them this season.
Well, but you have given me a very, good statistics. Nick Pope leads, the Golden Boot race, the Golden Glove race, right? Then that means, a team like Newcastle, because a team, total of 11 players, working as a unit, meaning to break the defense of Newcastle tomorrow, it will be a trouble. It will be, you will really struggle to break it. So what makes you think 3 goals? 3, not even 1, 3. 3.
I think there might be there might be chemistry in their defense, but again, the goalkeeper, you'll see it. He's one of those players who is very important in a team. Because you look at Manchester United, they have also been having a very good defense. And in the moments that it has been broken, who has been saving the day? It is David Gea. The same thing with Newcastle. They have not been exceptional in the last 5 matches in terms of scoring goals. They have been getting draws here and there, and who saves the day? Nick Pope.
And against Manchester United, of course, we have the likes of De Gea, and of course you brag a lot. By the way, you really brag a lot.
Not bragging.
But tell me,
I mean,
I want you to tell. When was the last time you kept a clean sheet in the last, let's say, 5 matches, leave alone the Leicester City game?
where is David De Gea on that list of goalkeepers with most clean sheets? It's probably, I'm not very sure, but he's either second or third.
Mm-hmm.
Last season, where was he? He was not even, I think, in top 5. So this, I mean, David De Gea, I can't even explain to anyone why he's exceptional, because his stats speak for themselves. He has been exceptional for a decade at in the Premier League, and now this is a second decade, and he has been absolutely the man who saves our days.
So according to you, think the man who will, save the day will be De Gea?
No, he is one of those. I talked about De Gea because of the Nick Pope aspect, but we'll play as a team. We have been so good, but I think in finals like this, we have to look at individual players and what they can bring to the match.
Mm-hmm.
And for Manchester United, I already talked about the Casemiros and the Brunos, but yeah, David De Gea, he has been in finals before, and I remember the last final he was not the best player, probably the worst in the Europa League, but he will be one of those players to watch.
All right, but I want you to single out, one player that you think will be very instrumental in tomorrow's game. Of course, we have the influence of Marcus Rashford, of which we are not sure if he will play tomorrow. But as a Manchester United fan, of course, you follow the game. And who do you think, of course, will be very key and crucial in tomorrow's game?
So many players to I mean, right now Manchester United are, it's not like last season when you would say Cristiano Ronaldo because he's scoring 24 goals. I remember when he left, so many Cristiano Ronaldo fanboys started talking about, let's see Manchester United produce a man who can score 24 goals in a season. Marcus Rashford has already hit that mark. We are only in February. So right now we can't talk of maybe one player who maybe will be so deciding in this match, but if at all I have to mention one player, I think it will be him, Marcus Rashford. And maybe the one that I've already mentioned.
What if Marcus Rashford, of course, fail to play tomorrow?
Hey, there are so many options.
In the
You
striking.
have seen,
But he has been your main striker this time round. The success that you're enjoying today has been built on this, player.
Okay, let me be fair enough. I think missing Marcus Rashford might be a blow for Manchester United, because that is Erik ten Hag will be forced to use Weghorst as the main striker, and then we have maybe Anthony on the left and Sancho. He has been on and off. He performs very well in this match, and then in the next one he is not the same guy. But I think all in all, the most important thing is knowing that you're in a final, the commitment needed. I mean, for example, this game, I heard Lisandro Martinez talking about the halftime team talk that they got from Erik ten Hag. It seems it was a very tough one. So that is all that matters. But if we have Marcus Rashford, that is an added advantage.
Anyway, of course, we will keep on talking about, Manchester United winning, not Europa League, winning Carabao Cup tomorrow. But you and I know it's not easy. Your coach knows. And tomorrow is a test of time. Yeah. Tomorrow is a test of time. And when you look at player individual performance. Of course, at the end of the day, the team, you work as a team, but at the end of the day, player individual counts. And of course, one of the key players that have been, the turnaround of this Manchester United success, of course, will attribute all the success to Marcus Rashford. Of course, you know that chances are tomorrow he might miss the game because of the obvious reasons, injury. In the event you miss your main striker, and of course a player who has, allow me to say, has carried the team so far until where you are right now, and tomorrow you miss him, do you think it will be a disaster and chaotic for you guys?
Not so much. I mean, yes, he has been instrumental, but I'm worried about Vegas because he's not one of those players that has come to this team and established himself and learned how to play around the other players very well. Like, for example, talk about Sabitzer coming from the Bundesliga, and he has already established himself so well. So yes, I'm concerned if he misses, but I don't think it will be of so much effect,
all right,
negative effect on us.
All right. Well, I understand Carabao is one, and of course we have the Europa League that you are still on it. Yeah. And you have been given a team. Of course, for me, I will think this is a weak team, and it might sound as a walkover to you, but you have a history with, of course, Spaniard teams. And Real Betis, this time round they sit 5th on the La Liga table, and this is a team that of course their history is not much known, but I'm not even interested about the Real Betis. Of course, in this we still have teams, big teams. We have the likes of Arsenal, we have Juventus, Roma, and of course Roma being coached by Jose Mourinho. This was their coach. The last time that you won the Europa League, it was Mourinho who, of course, was in charge of Manchester United. Now, do you think, of course, after the 9th of March, we'll be talking about Manchester United, of course, now heading to quarters?
Yeah, I think we'll be talking about Manchester United eyeing their second trophy of the season.
Get out of here, my friend.
Yeah, after now Sundays, next week we will be champions.
Champions of what?
Yeah, so Real Betis, I think this season we have been, let me say, quite lucky in terms of the teams that we get. For example, in the FA Cup, we have been drawn against West Ham United. And now, talking about Real Betis, they are not one of the team to look at in this competition. They are the PSVs, we have the Arsenals, we have so many good teams in the competition. I don't think they are one of them. But now going to every match, I've noticed Manchester United, they have now, the manager has instilled that character of playing every game like a final and not underrating anyone, and that is something that will be very instrumental in Manchester United playing against Betis.
Well, kuna kitu umetaja FA. Nilikuwa nawataka Manchester United, Chelsea, FA. Anyway, you're so lucky. But we have Arsenal. Actually, there is some teams that I think we need to look at. And of course, in particular, there were rumors you would have been drawn against Arsenal, but we have Arsenal, Juventus, Roma, and of course, Champions Leagues, the Europa Leagues, big boys.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Sevilla.
Yeah.
Do you think Manchester United can, cruise past these 4 teams?
Yes. Yeah.
Because this is the big test that awaits you. Should you, of course, win against Real Betis and progress to the next round, chances are you might face these teams: Roma, Arsenal, Juventus, and of course Sevilla. Do you think you'll squeeze a win out of these teams?
I mean, I've seen a very different team, and it's also good not to lie to ourselves that yes, there is a chance to even win a treble, But I'm looking at these teams and the fixtures. They are coming thick and thin. You are playing probably 2 games in probably 7 days. I think we might reach a point where our best players, maybe we miss our best players, the likes of Casemiro. They are not some of those who are prone to injuries, but you have a player like Rashford.
Okay.
He has not been injured in a while, but in a moment when you lose these players and then you are heading to a competition like this one, that's the only thing that I think stands on the way of Manchester United, not the complexity of these teams.
All right. Well, let's leave Manchester United alone for a bit. We have Arsenal. We will be playing Sporting Lisbon, of course. Then we have Juventus, Roma, and Sevilla. Well, these are, the favorite, the tournament favorite right now. But Arsenal face yet another big test, Sporting Lisbon. Of course, this is not a team that will say it a walkover.
Yeah.
What is your reading into Arsenal versus Sporting Lisbon fixture?
Yeah, it's a tough one. I have talked to Arsenal fans and they actually prefer being the Manchester United. They prefer playing a team like Real Betis because Sporting Lisbon, I mean, they are a good team. Talking about even the players that they produce, the Brunos and the rest. It will be in March, of course, and it is very interesting because Arsenal, one aspect that I think will be very determinant in this is the form that they will be in now heading to this competition, the English Premier League form that they would have registered. And last weekend, of course, they surprised us at 2-2 in this from actually 2. It was 1-0, then it was 2-0, 2-1, to a 4-2 scoreline. I think they are showing some real quality and resilience. You go down, but you don't stay there. You wake up and, of course, fluff off your feathers.
Okay. Juventus, of course, they have been drawn Fenerbahce. Di Maria, scored a hat-trick and earned Juventus a ticket now in the last 16. Well, Fenerbahce is quite an average team, but still a team that deserves, because any team that makes to this round is a team that can surprise many. Now they face Fenerbahce. Do you think Juventus, of course, with all the quality players plus the problem that the team faces, do you think they will see something out of this?
I don't think Juventus have a future in the Europa League this season, because having in mind, for example, their status in the league, 15-point deduction, and then you are playing against Nantes. They have a red card in the 20th or 18th minute. You only managed to squeeze another 1 goal because they were already 2-0 up. By the 1-0 up, before that they were given a penalty, and then Di Maria with to complete the hat-trick. I think Fenerbahce might surprise them.
Well, match the Roma and, of course, Sevilla. Of course, do you think after the 9th of March, of course, going to the second leg, probably, do you think these two teams will have registered something?
Yeah, I think Mourinho will try and do everything against, of course, Sevilla. But right now, we are not talking about the Sevilla of Unai Emery. It is quite different. And there is what a manager brings in a team. And for example, Unai was so exceptional with the team for, let me say, the last decade. And for Mourinho, he's a serial winner. We know what he has done. He's the only manager who has actually won all the 3 European Cups. But I think this one will be the most, not even Manchester, this will be the most interesting match to watch. And whoever wins, I don't know for now.
All right, and of course, that is all for International Sports Review. We'll talk about Manchester United and the mountain that they have to climb tomorrow. And of course, they still have a hope in the Europa League, but this one is for the big boys. Of course, we have the likes of the big guns. I'm talking about the likes of Sevilla, and we have Roma, who they have should I say experienced coach, a coach who knows how to handle such big matches like this. So it not be a walk in the park for Manchester United. The same goes to Arsenal, who will be facing Sporting Lisbon, a team that has really proved their worth in these European competitions. They have been in the Champions League. Some few years back, they went all the way until to the quarterfinals of the UEFA Champions League. Now they are in the Europa League. This is the round of 16, and I see them maybe, who knows, in the round of 8, the quarterfinals. Of course, that's all for this international sports review. We take yet another short break, and when we come back, plenty more to follow. All right, welcome back, and of course, let's talk about ufahamu busara, and of course, we are talking about players to watch, and one in particular is Loris Sevens Carriers. Of course, this was former Liverpool goalkeeper, age 29, position goalkeeper, of course, and our club is Newcastle United. Biggest achievement, played in the 2018 Champions League, and we all know what happened. And this is one of players to watch. The other players to watch, of course, this is about these two players will be meeting in the Carabao, and of course, this is the man given the mantle to protect the defense line and of course the goal post of Newcastle United. Another player that will be wanting to poach some goals and of course dismantle the defense and squeeze a win out of this very stubborn and notorious team Newcastle. Player to watch is Marcus Rashford. This is Manchester United forward, age 25, and of course position is forward. Club Manchester United. Biggest achievement, FA Cup, FA Community Shield, and of course UEFA Europa League. It's such a pity, no club league, but they are eyeing for that. So that is Marcus Rashford, a player to watch in this Fahamu Busara. Of course, two key players, very instrumental. Another players to watch, and of course, let's talk about today in history. Well, there is in 1964, Muhammad Ali Cassius Clay, that is the name, stage name, won his first world heavyweight boxing title when Sonny Liston failed to come out for the round of 7 and at the convention center in Miami Beach. And of course, many will remember Muhammad Ali for his famous punches, and he was one of the most successful boxers in the history of boxing. That is Muhammad Ali. He was born in 1964. That is when Muhammad Ali won his first boxing heavyweight title. And another players, that is very key in today's history. Let's talk yet again another boxing star, that is Mark Tyson. In 1989, Mark Tyson, of course, via technical knockout, won against Frank Bruno in round 5 of the heavyweight boxing title. That is when Mike Tyson, many call him the Fury of boxing. That is when he registered this particular history, of course, recording the history, the famous one. And of course, the technical knockout is quite very, one of the salvaging punches in boxing history. Well, that is all for this particular, on the sports show. Of course, it has been amazing and a great one for all of our fans and those who have, keep us company in the last 1 hour and of course 30 minutes or so. Many great and many thanks for those who made this production a success. We wish you all the best and of course enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye bye for now. My name is AUMA Evans. See you next time.